Flirt FM, Galway's alternative radio station.
You're listening to the Galway Gamer on Flirt FM 101.3. My name is Eoghan Murphy and I am the Galway Gamer. And we've got a bit of a special interview lined up today because we have not only one, but two legends of Mortal Kombat with us on the mic today. First off, returning to the mic and joining me from Chicago in the US is the Kung Fu Rockstar. You may know him from Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. You might also know him as Fusion from MK4. And if I'm not mistaken, he may be the guest who's returned to the mic more than anyone else here on the Galway Gamer over the years. Mr. Anthony Marquez, Kung Lao, how are you, sir?
Oh, awesome. Thanks for the great introduction. It's always a pleasure for me to talk with you, and especially this time. This time is so special for me because of your next guest.
My next guest, yes, indeed, because joining me from Hong Kong is, well, you might know him from Time Raiders, you might know him from No Way Out, but you probably know him once again as Kung Lao because he starred as Kung Lao in the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie, Mr. Max Huang. Max, thank you for taking the time to join me here today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the nice introduction.
This is incredible. We have not one, but two Kung Laos on the mic. Oh my word. Where to even begin with this, guys? All right, well, let's start then. Let's start off with Kung Lao as a fighter then, because when we think of MK, that's what we think of. We think of going toe to toe. We think of martial arts. We think of taking each other on one. Now, Kung Lao canonically studies a Shaolin style of martial arts. Do you both study the same styles?
Yeah, so my background is in Chinese martial arts and mixed martial arts, but especially for Kung Lao, it's what we use is a competitive or contemporary wushu, and that's another that's what I'm really interested in hearing about Max because I know that Max also does wushu. So I'd really love to talk about this. This is so exciting for me.
Yeah, we have a lot of similarities with our martial arts background. Like, it's actually quite crazy because, but yeah, that's true. Kung Lao does wushu, and also his style is from the Shaolin lineage. So personally, I dive deep into training Shaolin Kung Fu for the role, and yeah, it's always fun to explore new martial arts styles for a specific character. And yeah, I don't know how you feel about it, Anthony, but yeah.
Well, I just love that, like especially for this broadcast here, it is for me, the original, the first iteration of Kung Lao, and you being the latest iteration, and us sharing that bond. And I'm sure we could talk about all of this stuff through the interview, but whether it's our martial arts journey, our interest in music, and that actually spans even farther than us. And between I know you're into music, I'm into music. Paulo, who also played Kung Lao in the Mortal Kombat Conquest TV show, he's a singer. And I'm sure that Mark DeCasco, I'm sure he sings also. So, so outside of martial arts, that there's these threads that tie us all together. So yeah.
Yeah.
I find it absolutely wild that both of you wound up being singers. And as you said, one of the other Kung Lao actors was also a singer. So tell me, in your head, then, guys, is music an extension of the Kung Lao character?
For me,
go ahead.
sorry, you go ahead.
Okay. So for me, with the hat, and creating the character or whatever, helping create the character. I'm so influenced by so many things, but especially Michael Jackson. With Michael Jackson and the hat and a lot of especially his spinning dance moves and the whirlwind fatality and all of these type of things. These really influenced me, and so and then there's whether it's martial arts, music, movement, all of these things are tied together, rhythm, and all of these things within martial arts, music, dancing, whatever. It's all tied together. So it's very easy to jump from one to the other, I think.
Yeah, right. I agree. I don't have much to add to Anthony's answer. For me personally, maybe music is not that much attached to the role as it is to my personal life, because I think it's just another form of expression. I wouldn't say that my version of Kung Lao relied on my rock music, but yeah, like I said, it's another way of expression. And another thing I have to say is with the Mortal Kombat 21 film, we really stand on the shoulders of giants, because you guys, created the whole thing with the game from very early on. And for me, as a reference, I had to, when I looked into it and created the version for the film, I obviously had to do my research and look even into your stuff. And it was very not only helpful, but also very inspiring to see what you guys have done, and knowing and learning right now that you're a fan of Michael Jackson and kind of imitated a couple of movements of Michael with the hat. I wasn't aware of that, but that's really cool inside information. Yeah. For me, the hat is obviously what makes Kung Lao special, and my way of interpretation was going with the Western films, the cowboy films, and I wanted to give Kung Lao a kind of mysterious look, because I grew up watching Westerns as a kid, and I felt the similarity with Kung Lao and those cowboy stereotypes, let's call it, that I admired from early on when I was watching these films. So yeah, that was kind of my inspiration and what helped me to form the character.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
That is, and Max says that he stands on the shoulders of giants, and each generation does this. But for me, I couldn't think of anyone better to take the mantle, take the hat, and move it forward. I've watched Max's Wushu clips online. I've seen him move. I just look at him like, oh my God, this guy is fantastic. And even though he says that he's taken inspiration from like cowboys or whatever, that's also one of the big things about Kung Lao, from being inspired by Clint Eastwood and The Man with No Name, and that's where that was my inspiration too. And then Max also seeing this and being able to play off of that. Standing on the shoulders of giants is one thing, but being able to take it to the next level like Max does, I'm a fan.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot. I'm not very good at making so many good words for myself. But
Guys,
thank you.
This is incredible. This is incredible. And the interesting thing here is that Kung Lao as a character, he's often very, he's quite confident to a point where he's almost arrogant. And both of you seem to be quite the complete opposite of that. You're both very, very humble gentlemen right here. Tell me, in bringing Kung Lao across both to the arcade screen and to the movie screen, with that confidence, how do you toe the line to make sure that he's got the confidence, but he doesn't turn into, say, Johnny Cage levels of confidence?
You want to go take that, Max? You want to take that first, or?
Sure. I think it's because Kung Lao can back it up with his skills. That's for me the number one reason. If you know what you're capable of, then coming across as cocky or having a big ego it probably gives you the wrong impression of who Kung Lao is. But I think he's got this self-esteem and self-confidence because of his background in the Shaolin Temple and the martial arts. So it shouldn't be mistaken for just pure cockiness, like for example with Johnny Cage. And I think that's probably where the difference lies with the two characters.
Yes, I think that especially, I think that came across really well with your scene with Kano when you guys were, the dinner scene or whatever, and because you're cool and he's trying to push your button, but you will shut him down. When push comes to shove, you will shut that guy down. And I love that scene. And yeah, I thought, I just love that scene. And I thought you really brought that really well across with the character. And so again, I can't say enough good things about you, but but that scene in particular, where where Kung Lao knows what he's doing. Kung Lao, it's almost to the border of arrogance, but really it's just that what is that called? That self-reliance, that self-confidence that he has, that comes across hopefully in the arcade games and on the movie screen and everywhere in between. And there's confidence, but you're still bound by the the tenets of martial arts, especially Chinese martial arts. But when push comes to shove, you got to make sure that it's coming across as not weakness, not anything else. You are strong enough to take your stand, but not arrogant enough where you think you always have to show everybody exactly what you're coming from. So I thought that was a great scene. I thought that came across really well. So thank you so much.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
He has this confidence, as we mentioned, and as you guys mentioned, he can indeed back it up, and we see that time and time again, which raises the question, why is it that in almost every form of MK media over the last decade or so, Kung Lao dies? What is it that goes wrong? Why does Kung Lao always end up being beaten by his opponent? Because we see it in MK9, Mortal Kombat 9, 2, 10, 11, he's killed by Shao Kahn. In the latest movie then, he's killed by Shang Tsung. I don't believe he survived the Battle of the Realms cartoon lately either. What is his downfall?
Can I take this, please? Can I take this one?
Yeah, sure. Because
Okay.
I don't know how to answer this.
Okay. No, but okay, yeah. So Kung Lao is confident. Kung Lao is very capable. Kung Lao is everything that you believe him to be. And yet, like in every iteration, maybe he gets killed, maybe, he gets killed off or whatever. With any other character, you would see that, okay, so they're nerfing him, they're killing him off, and that would be the end of the character. But in every iteration of Mortal Kombat, maybe he gets killed off, but he still somehow manages to survive, manages to come back in the next iteration, whether it's another game, another movie, another animated movie or whatever, because I think that's the biggest thing, at least for me personally, that represents Kung Lao. You can knock him down, but he will not die, and he'll come back. There's no quit in Kung Lao, and if anybody gets anything out of Kung Lao, it's that no matter how bad things get, no matter what happens, Kung Lao will come back, and that's what resonates with fans. That whoever's making these decisions, whether it's WB, whether it's whoever's writing these stories, you want to kill him off, but somehow he comes back because the fans love him, because they know that down deep in his heart, you can knock him down, but he will not die. So
I
I think
love that. There's
somehow
no
that
quit
that
in Kung
resonates.
Lao. I love that.
There is no quit. There is no quit in Kung Lao.
And would you relate that back to his lineage then as well, his heritage? The fact that you had the great Kung Lao, then the step down, you have modern day Kung Lao as well, and the bloodline seems to go on. Is that again a case of Kung Lao and the Kung Lao family simply refusing to quit?
Oh, I definitely believe so. I definitely believe so that that's part of the character. But even getting back to, getting back to Max, I know that he's part of the Jackie Chan stunt team. I know, he's done so much. And I'm sure, I would love to hear any of these stories where I'm sure Max has been bumped up, like, 49% of him is like, oh my God, what is going on? I want to quit. But there's that 51% that pushes him forward. And that, like the things that I see him do online, it's like, oh my God, I know there's no quit in Max. And I would love to hear some of these stories because just watching him do martial arts it's so inspiring, watching him tumble, knowing that he's part of the Jackie Chan stunt team, training there. Oh, that's what I tuned in for. These interviews are cool, but I want to hear what's going on with Max.
Thanks. Well, I have to give the compliment back because I see you online, posting videos as well of you training and being in great shape, like super ripped. It's just amazing. And I saw that you have a son who is also training in martial arts, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And I guess it seems like he's competing in wushu on
Yeah.
a very, very high level. So you're passing on the torch here, and that's just inspirational. It's something that I look up to personally. I want to be as fit as you, when I get to your age.
See,
Yeah.
and that's what I love. Again, that's what I love because we are from different generations. I was that first iteration of Kung Lao. He's the most current iteration of Kung Lao. Max is actually closer to my son's age than my age. So, but that just to know that we're connected because of this character. And really, 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 I wish you all the best. I really wish your career. I wish all the best for your character, but for you as an actor and a performer and a martial artist. But this Kung Lao character is something that even we'll all be connected with. Me, my son, you, Alo, Mark DeCasco, and whoever takes up the hat after you. And it's just so exciting to see how this thing, the inspiration from the original to where you guys take it next. So
Yeah, I think it's all right what you said. Like I agree with that. And for me, Kung Lao carries this very special spirit, which I think I guess the reason why people, producers or directors chose us to portray the characters because they can see a similarity in ourselves with the character of Kung Lao. So
yes.
I think in order to portray the character in a correct way, you have to actually be a true martial artist yourself. And I don't think there's a way to fake that and ever give a role to like Kung Lao to an actor who doesn't have that background.
Totally. That's why especially when your your entrance in the movie or whatever, and you pop up and you do the southern pose. It's like, bro, this guy does that. This guy's doing southern Chinese martial arts. I love it. I love and this is different from what originally was done. There's more of a northern element to that. But it's like, yeah, take it, go, create your own. You don't know how excited I am to see that, especially with this thing wushu. Again, portrayed, like legitimately on screen. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and who knows what comes next? Maybe in a couple decades, someone else will pass on the hat to the next guy and see what he does with it, right?
That would be that'd be totally awesome. I will be probably in the ground. You're going to be the old Kung Lao at the point, and there's going to be another cat that, and it's just like like Mark Ruffalo was saying, like about playing the Hulk, but he was saying like, oh, this part is like Hamlet, like everyone everyone gets a chance to play it, and everyone is lucky in order to play this part, and that's why I'm so whether it's me, my son, you, everybody else, it's just so cool to know that this legacy is going on, and like you said, it's a true martial artists who are carrying this legacy on. So
yeah.
And Max, tell me, how did you get involved in martial arts to begin with, if you don't mind my asking?
So for me, it all started with the movies because I was born and grew up in Germany, and my father, who's Chinese, he made me watch Bruce Lee films and Jackie Chan at a young age. So that's where my influence comes from, and when I saw it, I immediately was, I felt like, oh wow, I wanna do exactly the same. So I took up martial arts essentially because I wanted to become like Bruce Lee, and and try to find like a kung fu school, but it was very difficult at that time in Germany. There weren't that many schools, but eventually I found like my first master, and then from there on I just started training and later on compete in wushu and also freestyle fighting. So yeah, those were my beginnings with the martial arts. Yeah.
And what age would you have been when you began?
Well, I started to like emulate what I saw like right away, but I think when I took up my first class was when I was 11. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And would you have had a background with video games on top of that? I know you're saying that a lot of the influence there comes from movies, and I absolutely love that. Were you a gamer growing up?
Is the question directed towards me?
When you were growing up, were you also into video games? Were video games your jam?
No, I was never a gamer, to be very honest with you guys. Maybe after I got the Mortal Kombat part, that's where I started to play the most video games. MK11, I played quite a bit, but before that, I dabbled a little bit maybe into gaming, but I would never consider myself like a gamer.
Movies were always your thing instead.
Movies were like the main inspiration. Yeah.
Excellent, yeah.
That is so funny. That is so funny because again, this is hearing this stuff for the first time too. But again, how similar our backgrounds are, because it was being very young and watching Bruce Lee as like, oh my God, this is something different. This is something different than like Batman or whatever. This is martial arts, live. And so yeah, I also wanted to be, I was so influenced by Bruce Lee, and just like Max, I actually don't play a whole lot of video games. I used to like playing pinball, but I'm not a big gamer either. And so there's so many similarities to our backgrounds. Whether it's being influenced by movies and Bruce Lee, being not being a gamer really.
I think this is wild. I'm here with two Kung Laos, two Kung Laos, and neither of you play video games.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild, oh my word. You're missing out, boys. You're missing out. No, that's fantastic, though. I see it all coming together here, and I can see the the influence running through, and it sounds like Max, you were saying that you wanted to be Bruce Lee. It sounds like both of you, even though you're both different generations, may have grown up watching the same movies.
Yeah, probably the same movies over and over like that.
Over and over again. Yes.
Until this day, yeah, I have to watch Bruce Lee every year. I put on his movies at least once. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. Yeah.
You are absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
And there is a lot of similarities then between Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon and Mortal Kombat as well, because Mortal Kombat takes a lot of inspiration from that movie. The fighting tournament, the small island. So again, it all kind of connects here, guys.
Oh, I got a question for Max. So yeah,
Sure.
I saw that you and Ludi Lin have a history beyond Mortal Kombat. Is this correct?
Yeah. So we go way back to 2013, I think, where I was doing stunts in China with the JC stunt team, and Ludi was on the same film as one of the main actors, and on that film, which was a very low budget film, we had to fight together, and I was doubling the other main actor, so we shared the screen for the first time on that project, and became good friends ever since. And so yeah, we go way back, yeah. And it was when I got the part and heard that Ludi was playing Liu Kang, I was in shock. I was like, what? Like, I know this guy. This guy is like my brother already. So it was so easy to form that connection because it was already there, you know.
Yeah, and it comes across. It really does come across that you guys are tight. And but then saying that, oh my God, yeah, you guys knew each other beforehand. That was and you didn't did you know that he was going out for this part, or did you find out later on that he was cast, you were cast?
So the story with the whole casting process is that I auditioned for the Liu Kang part at first.
Okay.
And
really?
Yeah, so I went for the Liu Kang part. I did my scene and sent it off to casting, and then a couple of weeks later, they got back to me and said that they already found Liu Kang, but they liked my stuff, and so I was like, okay, that's fine. But then I think a month later, they called me again and said like, yeah, the director actually looked into the old tapes of Liu Kang actors because they were having trouble finding Kung Lao, who they casted last, and so they kind of found me again within the library of videos for Liu Kang auditions, and yeah, when I got that call, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I kind of, it's like you already lose the part, but then they call you back. That happens not very often.
And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why Max is Kung Lao, because you can knock him down. Oh, maybe and I went through that same thing where I'm not in Mortal Kombat. I'm not in Mortal Kombat, but somehow the fates know that you have to be there, and so they found you again, and you're Kung Lao, and there's no oh well, it is what it is. You went up for the role. You wanted to be in Mortal Kombat. Things happen, but somehow you were resurrected. Metaphorically resurrected, and now you're in Mortal Kombat. That's exactly Kung Lao. That is exactly Kung Lao. So that's what I was talking about. A couple minutes ago. You can knock him down, but he will not die. And Max just very much represents that whole thing that we're just talking about. So that's awesome. And then knowing that you and Ludi were buds before, that's exactly how Hosung, which was my Liu Kang, that's exactly how we were. And So, all of this stuff, originally this is how it was created, and this, this latest iteration, it really comes across on screen, and so it's perfect.
Yeah. I also have a question for you, Anthony.
Sure.
So, if you mind me asking, like, how was it when you got the part of Kung Lao, and what was your first reaction? And did you know about the character, or yeah, how did you react?
Oh, so okay, so originally they're putting together, this live action video game, and a bunch of my pals who are, we're all training together. They're doing this live action video game, and I was supposed to shoot like these ninja characters, and then I broke my foot the week of filming or whatever. So it's like, Danny will shoot these ninja characters. It's fine, whatever. I'm glad that my buddies are doing this video game. And then this thing became Mortal Kombat. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed my opportunity to be in this global video game. And then they're doing the sequel, Mortal Kombat II, and John Tobias created, Kung Lao. But the story is he thought I was too skinny to be Kung Lao. And so, eh, I told him, I got so mad. It's like, get John Tobias to the gym that we're working out at. Get him here in 4 weeks. I will show him that I deserve to be in this game. So, I I don't know if anything actually changed in 4 weeks, but I just concentrated on weightlifting and trying to get as big and ripped as possible. Yeah, he came to the gym. We worked out together, and then a couple of days later, he gave me a call. It's like, oh yeah, we want you as Kung Lao. And then I saw the drawings, and he looked, like a thinner version. He wasn't as big as Liu Kang. And it's like, see, oh, so this is now what the character looks like. And but I was so excited about that. And then it's that same thing, just exactly like what you were saying. It's just a drawing on, and I'm sure you've gone through this too. Because for me, it was just, oh, he's a Shaolin monk, and there's just one picture that John Tobias drew. And then for me, it was like trying to understand what this character is, or how I could bring personality to this character. And then I'm in costume or whatever, and I'm just an actor in costume. But then and I put on the hat, and it's like, it's all in the hat. Then it becomes that cowboy, the man with no name, the Clint Eastwood or whatever. And so that's how I got into it. And then I'm sure that there's a video game character, but there's more to it that you have to bring to the movie. But now you have to sustain this character, through the movie. And so, the way that you did that, and the coolness that you brought, especially I love that scene with Kano. It's like, bro, just you better chill or you're going to get shut down. And then the first time fighting with Cole or whatever, it's like, you brought this energy, you brought this charisma to the character that, like, get it, get it. But yeah, that's my introduction into to Kung Lao. It was like, I was originally supposed to be another character, just kind of like you originally wanted to be another character, but somehow that didn't happen. But somehow we came back, and we're Kung Lao, and this is Kung Lao's essence.
Right. And also, did you know were you already buddies with the other guys who?
Oh yeah, so that's one of those things where Liu Kang, myself, Johnny Cage, the ninjas, Raiden, and Kano, we all grew up together. We're all doing martial arts together, and they were friends with the co-creator, the artistic director of the game, John Tobias, and they were all friends together. And then John Tobias came up with this idea of doing this video game that was influenced by Enter the Dragon, Big Trouble in Little China, like all the Jet Li movies of the time and the Jackie Chan movies of the time. And so that, that's how the original concept came about. And that's why, oh yeah, John Tobias wants to do this video game, this live action video game. And I thought it was a cool idea, but I didn't understand, because especially I don't play much video games. I didn't understand what they were trying to do. And then when I wasn't in it originally, it's like, oh, that's no big deal. I'm glad my buddies are doing it. But then that video game became Mortal Kombat. So, and then like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed that opportunity. The next time that opportunity comes around, I am definitely, I'm definitely putting my foot in there. So that's how that all came about. But then knowing that, oh, you and Ludi also had, a history together before Mortal Kombat, I thought that really came across too. Like, just the tightness that the monks need to have, because you get, you guys are essentially brothers, just like Osang and I are essentially brothers. So all of that stuff came across really well.
Oh, one thing I would like to know, did Kung Lao exist? Because he wasn't in the first game, right?
Right.
But did the character already exist?
No. So what is that called? For us, and during the first game, there was no Kung Lao, and then when we're making Mortal Kombat 2, the mythos or the lore of the great Kung Lao from 500 years ago, that became something. And so you had the great Kung Lao from 500 years ago to like our version of Kung Lao, which is today's version. All of that stuff was kind of like the great Kung Lao was retroed in, and then we became the current the modern day Kung Lao.
Okay.
So, guys, one or two big questions to hit you with, if you don't mind. The first one being, what we were talking earlier on about musical influence. When are you two boys going to get together and have a jam?
Oh, brother. This is something I would love. We need to hook up on this, because oh my God, that would be so awesome.
I want to hear that record, man. Come on.
Yeah. What are your musical influences, and how did you get into music?
My family, they're all musicians. They all from a classical music background. So my mom's a singer, and then my dad is a conductor for orchestra.
Wow.
And also
piano. Wow.
Yeah. So I grew up around music from when I was a baby, basically. And my influences are strongly lie with Elvis Presley and who else? Like, I really tend towards the rock genre. But nowadays, I would say I listen to not everything, but I'm much broader with my musical library. And of course, classical music is a big part of it. But yeah, that's
that one track, that Flawless Victory song, it dives quite deep into rock there, and you actually do quite a few kind of dry screams in the background there as well. What would be a rock influence then? Would you go as far as saying, would you be into heavy metal, for example?
For me, it was really Linkin Park.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah.
What I grew up with in high school, and then I think when I was 15 years old, I became part of a rock band in our school. So the guys from a grade above me, they were looking for a singer, and then during lunch break, they met me, and I was like, hey, I'd love to get into the music, rock music. And then so we formed this band, and then we gigged around our city and around Germany. And that was a very fun time for maybe 4 or 5 years. So
wow.
Yeah. Anthony, you have a band as well, or
Yes,
are you?
and it's funny that you said, you're heavily influenced by Elvis Presley, because this guy is also very heavily influenced by Elvis Presley. It is so weird. Yeah. Yeah, I love Elvis. Again, for me, growing up watching like Elvis Presley movies or whatever, and then like especially like the '68 special, his '68 comeback special. There was such a big influence on me, and but that is so funny that the king of rock and roll has such a big influence on you, because yeah, he has such a big influence on me too. And this again, it's so funny how similar there are things with us. My It's funny though. My brother and sister took piano lessons for years, and they hated it every second of it. And then and then my older brother took guitar lessons for years, and he always wants to play guitar or whatever, but it's just something to dabble with and then set off onto the side. And I'm the only one who didn't have music lessons growing up, because my parents were like, okay, look, we're done wasting money. you know yeah, we're not going to force music lessons on this guy. But I'm the only one of my siblings who actually love music to the point where I want to produce my own music. So but
Wow.
it's so cool that I didn't realize that your dad was a conductor, your mom was a singer. I didn't realize that you had such deep roots in music. That is so awesome.
Yeah. I never formally studied music though, but my dad used to teach me to play piano from when I was young, and my mom gave me singing instructions, but I never,
Sure.
yeah, I never took it up to a professional level, you know? Yeah.
And one more question for you two boys, if you don't mind. And a couple of months ago, I had Carlos Pacina and Richard Epcar on here, both
Okay.
of which played Raiden, both of which, similar to today, hadn't actually met until the show. And we discussed the character of Raiden. So I asked them one question, and I'm just going to ask you guys pretty much the same question to wrap up. And that is, who is Kung Lao to you?
Anthony, do you want to start?
Sure. Kung Lao is, again, somebody who will not quit. He will not quit. He is secure within his own self. He's strong but not cocky. He loves to train. He has this rivalry, brotherly rivalry with Liu Kang. But at his core, he's just somebody who, yeah, you can knock him down. He wants to be champion. In many iterations, he is champion. But no matter what you do to him, he will not quit, and he'll always come back. And this is why, in 1993 he originated. In 2000, when is this movie coming out? 2024, 2025, or whatever. He's still there. That's why I'm Kung Lao, and this is why Max is Kung Lao. Because
Love it.
That's a very good answer. Yeah. I have nothing much.
What about you, Max? What do you reckon? Who is Kung Lao as a character to you?
Kung Lao to me is someone who just embodies the martial arts spirit, and that goes along with the Shaolin philosophy and Chinese martial arts. So, yeah, I think he's just, like I said, the embodiment of martial arts, and maybe even more than Liu Kang in some way. I don't know, but for me, and yeah, everything else that Anthony just said, I can only agree with. But yeah, the martial arts part and him embodying the spirit and virtues of martial arts, that's what Kung Lao for me stands for personally. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Guys, this has been absolutely incredible. This is absolutely incredible. It's been great watching you guys get to know each other and finding all these little links that you both have as Kung Lao. And I reckon you could almost write a book on just how many similarities there are between you guys.
Yes.
It's kind of uncanny, to be perfectly honest. You know.
What's your favorite food?
Oh my God.
Maybe we have. It goes on and on and on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been a pleasure having you both on. I really do appreciate you both taking the time today. And I know it's Sunday over in Chicago. It's Monday over in Hong Kong right now. So I appreciate you both working with me on scheduling this as well. This has been an absolute blast. So thank you, guys.
Thank you for putting this together.
Yeah.
Again, I'm such a big fan of Max, and good luck to and everything that you do. I'm a big fan. I'll always be in your corner. So
Same here, Anthony. Thank you for everything, and you're an inspiration as well. I'd love to meet you one time.
yeah, we will make this happen. We'll make this happen.
Well, look, you've all got each other's details now, so yeah, make that happen and put that record together because I want to hear it.
Around Galway on FM and around the world on flirtfm.ie. This is Galway's alternative station, Flirt FM.